everyone, and welcome back. We're going to make some cookies today. I always like having a fresh batch of cookies in the freezer. Come the afternoon, Bob and I really enjoy to make a cup of tea and have a cookie. So these are one of our favorites. They are really delicious. If you like a nice, hard, crunchy cookie, this is not the soft, chewy type. It's an oatmeal cookie that has some cranberries and almonds, and it's finished off with some white chocolate. So let's talk about our ingredients here. So I have 3/4 of a cup of cranberries here, and I'm going to macerate them with a little bit of orange juice. This is fresh squeezed orange juice, which I have right here. It was about 1/2 of an orange. And I also took the zest off of the orange, which we're going to use as well. So we need a tablespoon of the orange juice plus 2 teaspoons to measure it exactly. 2 teaspoons plus a tablespoon. All right, let's put that aside. And just let these macerate for a little bit while we work on the rest of our ingredients. If your cranberries are a little bit hard, this will soften them up a little bit. It also flavors the cranberries, and cranberry and orange go very nicely together. Okay, so we'll leave those aside. So let's definitely go over the rest of our ingredients. We have 1 cup of butter, or 8 ounces of butter. It's unsalted and it's room temperature. And I'm going to use my mixer here today. So we're just going to get our butter into our mixer along with our sugar, which I have 1 cup of sugar, granulated sugar here. And so 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of granulated sugar. And you want to put this on your mixer and mix this until it's kind of nice and light and fluffy, which will take about 2 minutes. So let me go ahead and get that part done. Okay, I think this looks good. Let's just take it off and just take a look at it. Nice and light. Okay, so you can see how nice and light the butter and the sugar is. Let's put this back on the machine. Okay, let's talk about our other ingredients. I have here 1½ cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. I have 1½ cups of regular oatmeal, not the instant, and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. So we're going to just mix this a little bit up in a bowl. Just get that a little bit mixed up. And to that, we're going to add some toasted whole almonds that I just very roughly chopped with the skin on. So we have here 1 cup of toasted almonds. So you're going to add your almonds to your flour mixture and your oatmeal. So again, it's 1½ cups of unbleached all-purpose flour. It's 1½ cups of regular oatmeal, and 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 cup of toasted almonds. And our last ingredient is 1 tablespoon of our orange zest. So let's just get all of that in. Okay, so I put the orange zest in, and we will just put this on low. And we will start to add all of our dry ingredients to the butter and the sugar. If you notice, there are no eggs in these cookies and there's no leavening to these cookies. They do not rise. Okay, so just slowly start to add your flour, oatmeal, and almonds to the butter and sugar. Okay, we put the last bit in. And then we will add our 3/4 of a cup of cranberries and the orange juice. Okay, so here our cranberries and orange juice is all going in to our cookie mixture. Just put that on low, get that incorporated. And I have here 8 ounces of white chocolate, and we're going to melt that later. We need to wait until the cookies are baked off, completely cooled, and then we will top each cookie with some melted white chocolate. So that we will wait to do later on. I think you can see how easy that was. It's a wonderfully easy cookie recipe to make. And I have 2 sheet pans ready with parchment paper, and I have my oven set at 375 degrees. These cookies will take anywhere from 14 to 18 minutes. And you just want to dust your board with a little bit of flour. And get all of your dough onto your board. Now I'm only going to do a half of the dough at a time. So you can kind of just eyeball it. If you're very, very exact, you could weigh this and then you'd know exactly what half would be. But I think we're going to just eyeball this. Cut your dough in half. And just put a little bit of flour on here so it doesn't stick. And we'll put half of our dough right there. And here's our other half. Make sure you have enough flour on your board so it doesn't stick. This is a very nice dough to work with. Okay, and you want to roll this to about a 1/4 inch thick, okay? Here's my rolling pin. Let's just roll this out. I like to move it around a little bit to make sure it's not sticking. If you start to see any dough on your rolling pin, just add a little more flour to your dough, just so that it does not stick to your rolling pin. Probably could go just a hair thinner. I think we're good. I think that's about a 1/4 inch. I actually have a measuring tape right here, a ruler. So let's just take a quick peek. That is pretty good. And then, depending on how large you want to make the cookies, you can make them 3 inches, 2 inches. This is about 2 3/4 inch. So I'm just going to use this to cut them out. And I already have a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. And the cookies will go right on here. And I also have an offset spatula to help me along the way. So depending on how thin or thick you make your cookies will depend on how long they will take to bake off. So that's why I would say anywhere from 14 to 18 minutes. These are fairly thick. I like them like that. There we go. And this dough comes back together very nicely so that you can continue to make more. You definitely want space in between so they bake evenly, but they don't spread and they don't rise. The shape that they are in right now is the way they will come out. Okay, so I'm just bringing all of my dough together again. And it comes together very nicely. Go ahead and roll this out and we can make more cookies. And again, we will pop these in the oven at 375 degrees for 14 to 18 minutes. I will start checking them in 14 minutes. Okay, so we have 12 here. I'm going to get them in the oven. Be back to make these. Okay, so we have our second tray ready to go, and what I ended up with this size ring and the thickness that I rolled the dough out is 26 cookies. So you could probably get anywhere from 25 to 30 cookies. So when the other cookies come out, I will bake these off and let them cool, and then we will frost the tops with some white chocolate. Okay, be back soon. So our cookies are completely cooled and we are ready to top them off with a little bit of melted white chocolate. So with the white chocolate, I put 8 ounces of chopped white chocolate in a bowl and I put it in the microwave. I tried it in the microwave and it worked very nicely. So I set the microwave at 50% because you don't want to burn your white chocolate. So I set it at 50% and I just checked it every 30 seconds or so. And now I have this nice smooth white chocolate. You just want to take a spoonful of the chocolate and put it on your cookie. And you can either use a teaspoon, the back of a teaspoon, or you can just use your offset spatula and just spread the chocolate over the top. And I don't like to make it too thick, just a nice little thin coating on the top of your cookie. And if you do have any white chocolate melted and you didn't use it all, you can put it in a container and save it for the next time that you make these cookies. There we have another cookie. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing the same thing, and as I said, once these are completely set up, you want the cookies to set up at room temperature. And once the chocolate has hardened, then you can put them in some type of a Tupperware or freezer container and put them in your freezer and take the cookies out as you wish. And hopefully this will be a nice addition to your cookie collection. Okay, so thanks so much. Again, I look forward to seeing you again soon, and hopefully you will try to make these cookies. I think they're quite delicious. Thanks everyone. See you again soon. Bye now.